Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new month. We have made it to June of 2023, and as I like to do at the start of every month, I want to talk about the month we just had here on the channel and also talk about the month that is coming a little bit. So, May, May was a productive month. Not a lot happened, but a few things definitely were enough to fill out the month. We had mainly the rookie minicamp and then the first wave of optional OTAs, and that was able to propel some interesting narratives, but mostly the month of May was utilized to kind of clean up after the draft. The Seahawks acquired 10 rookies via the draft and then a further 20, I think it ended up being like 26 via the UDFA period. And May was basically about breaking those guys down as much as possible for the most part. So we did that 2 week long series where we did a deep dive into each rookie that we drafted. I did some deep dives into some of the UDFAs, talked about what was being brought to the table by this collection of players. And I felt like that by the end of it, we had done a really good job of discussing everything that needed to be talked about when it came to these players. So mostly that took up our time in the month of May, and we did really good. I mean, there were multiple videos pretty much every day, with a couple of exceptions. There was a little bit of news that was unexpected, like, for instance, the Lockett restructure and then the Mario Edwards signing, little things like that that happen over the course of a post-draft offseason. But for the most part, it was just kind of picking up where the draft left us. And I'm happy to report that I think I've said just about everything I can say about these top rookies before we move into the part of the season where we just kind of have to wait and see what they're going to do. Like, I've said everything that I can say about what we learned from their college career. Now we kind of just have to sit back and try to see what they actually end up doing. There's nothing to do but wait now. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting. And that was basically a pretty conclusive and full rundown of what happened in the month of May on Seahawks Brendan Nelson. There was a few Mariners videos, as there always are. There's a Mariners video every couple weeks. They continue to just grind out their season playing, average baseball, I guess. And hopefully they can snap out of it for long enough to put themselves in contention for a wild card spot. But June is going to be kind of an interesting month here because straight up, outside of that, what do I do? Like, we are talking about a month that is coming up for the Seattle Seahawks where very little is going to happen. And it's not even like February. The month of February tends to be kind of dead, but you're building up to something. And sometimes your team does do something. Sometimes your team loses a coach or fires a coach. Sometimes your team makes some commitment to maybe moving a player, moving off a certain player. There are things that can happen in February that are pretty big, but there really isn't a lot that can happen for the Seahawks in June. And unlike February, where there's at least the possibility of a surprising move, I don't know what that move could be for the Seahawks in June. Like, we're going to have some stuff happening at the VMAC. We're going to get a little bit of news every now and then, but the news is more likely going to be about things like, oh, this player said this. This player's rehab is at this phase. This player's rehab expects him to be back on the field by this date. Or the coaching staff indicates they're going to do this. Or early indications from the coaching staff are that the team is going to reconsider this and start doing that. It's going to be more speculative stuff. And nothing that we really learn, quote unquote, in the month of June is guaranteed to be meaningful. It can definitely be interesting, but coaches are going to say what they're going to say. It doesn't mean they're going to actually do it when the season starts. So June is probably going to be the slowest month of the year on this channel. I don't know how often I'm going to be making videos. I'm going to make what I can when I can. But straight up, I don't think there's going to be a lot to talk about. And you may see several days go by on this channel where there's just not going to be an upload. And just know that I am going to continue to keep my ear to the ground and try to hear things that are interesting. and hope that at least a few notable things happen. Like, generally speaking, there are going to be some things that come out of the mini camp practice stuff that happens at the VMAC, and I might be able to pick up some things from there. But at the same time, the most interesting stuff with regards to that has kind of already happened. It's the rookie mini camp. That's probably more interesting than anything else. Like, we're sitting here mostly trying to figure out when's Jamal Adams going to be ready, when's Jordan Brooks going to be ready, when is Devin Witherspoon and JSN going to be 100%. Little things like that that we may or may not get any news on. We might not learn about those things until August, for all we know. So it's going to be a very slow month, I think, on June, just because there's not going to be a lot to talk about. And I'm certainly not going to force it. I'm not going to try to make a bunch of videos about stuff that doesn't feel like it really matters. So May was a good, we picked up like, I think it was 225 subscribers in the month of May, which was pretty much what I was hoping to get. It made sense because there was nothing major happening, but there was enough to talk about to where I felt like we could probably pick up like 7 or 8 a day, and that's pretty much what we average. So thank you to everybody who subscribes to this channel. Thank you to everybody who subscribed in the last month. We are now pushing up close to 13,600. And honestly, I would be pretty happy if we got to that point by the end of the month. June, we're going to have the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals. In fact, the NBA Finals start tonight. But I don't really talk about those things on my channel that much, so I don't think I'm really going to say anything about that. The Kraken aren't in it or anything like that, so I'm not really going to make a video about that kind of stuff. The one thing that could be kind of interesting on this channel later this month of June is I may be doing a watch-along stream of the NBA Draft, which I believe is on like the 22nd or something. So that could be kind of interesting, but it's just going to be a really slow month. So hopefully we can get to 13,600 subs by the end of the month. That would just be like 2 subs a day. I think we could probably do that, but I'm not really expecting too much more than that unless something huge goes down. And what are the huge things that can go down when you think about it? It's... maybe we could trade for Quinn and Williams. Maybe we could trade for DeForest Buckner, but where's the money going to come from? So I'm not really seeing that as a realistic possibility. Yeah, it's not like we have any major trade we can make. Maybe Noah Fant, but it seems like it's too late for any of that stuff because here we are. We're already past the draft. The offseason's basically over. A lot of the cap space that teams had is now spent. So, yeah, I'm expecting a pretty slow month in June. It was a great May. I was happy with all the stuff that we did. And I want to thank everybody who helped make it possible by watching the videos, by subscribing, by being part of all this. It was awesome. But, yeah, June, there's not going to be a lot going on. We get to July, we're going to start getting more stuff from the VMAC, more meaningful stuff from the VMAC. We're going to start having more mandatory practices. We're going to start getting a better idea of where this player is. Like Jamal Adams and Jordan Brooks are the big ones, but also maybe a little bit of Brian Monet because we don't know where he is yet. We're going to get an idea of where the rookies are from what we're hearing from the beat writers. So everyone buckle in and get ready for that. And then, of course, August is going to be like the preseason. So by then we're going to be really warmed up. But June, I don't know. We'll have to see. Like the NBA draft watch-along stream that I do may end up being the most interesting thing that happens on this channel this month. So that's the YouTube side of things. I will continue to make a couple Mariners videos every month, and I'll talk about what needs to be talked about, but there probably won't be a lot. Their team is going to have to pull something out of their hat to make June a really active month here. Twitch, I want to talk about Twitch real quick. It was... Yeah, I'm actually finding that what I thought was going to happen, the exact opposite is happening. I thought that because it was the off season and I wouldn't be making as many videos and I wouldn't be streaming as much, that people would flood over to my Twitch and watch me stream stuff because they would want to, continue to talk about football stuff and sports stuff when when I'm not streaming here on YouTube. But I'm finding the exact opposite, actually. The Twitch has been really, really inactive lately. And, I'm streaming probably 20, 25 times a month, no problem. And it's just been really slow this month. And this was a month when I started playing Zelda. The first stream, a lot of people showed up, and then after that, it really dried up quickly. Very few people. And I think what it is, more than anything, is it's the exact opposite of the effect that I thought we were going to get, where people want to come over to the Twitch when I'm not streaming as much here. They actually want to watch me on Twitch more during the season. Even though I'm streaming more on YouTube then, they still want to come over to my Twitch to talk about the NFL season that's currently going on. They want to talk about the Seahawks season that's currently going on. So it's actually the opposite. During the off season, my Twitch is much less active than during the actual season. So kind of surprising, but yeah, the Twitch has just been really slow lately. Just a handful of viewers usually show up to each stream. Playing new games doesn't seem to really change anything. So Zelda's been going really good though, and it was a good month. I had a lot of fun, and I've always said me playing video games is something that I would be doing anyway without Twitch. Twitch just allows me to interact with people, even if it's just a few people. So there's no real difference, except I feel like I'm being a little more productive, I guess. But May was a good month for video game stuff. We're close to getting through Zelda. I think we're going to beat Zelda within the first week or so of the of June. We got through most of Elden Ring, and I do plan on finishing Elden Ring sometime in June. And people actually seem to like the Elden Ring streams. That's a game that a lot of people like to watch, it seems like. And June is going to be defined by largely two new games, and I'm very interested to see what happens here, because we're going to get Diablo 4 very soon here, and then we're going to get Final Fantasy 16 later in the month, which I've already pre-ordered and plan on playing day one. So that's going to be fun. That's really all there is to say. Like, again, at this point, the most active my Twitch streams have ever been were back in January when the Seahawks were winning a couple games to put together a playoff berth, and there was a lot of drama, and there was a lot of excitement, and there was a lot of interest. And I thought it was because I was playing Breath of the Wild, and a lot of people wanted to see me play Breath of the Wild. That may have been true partially, but I think now it was actually more than anything just because the season was going well at that point, and people wanted to come in and talk about it even when I wasn't on YouTube. So there you go, I guess. So again, I'm going to continue to try playing newer games on the channel over the month of May because we got two big releases. I do plan on doing some Diablo 4 co-op, and by the way, it is within the realm of possibility that another person you guys who watch my YouTube may be very familiar with will be co-oping it with me. So keep an eye on that. That could be fun. That could intrigue some people. And Final Fantasy is my favorite video game franchise of all time, so I'm very excited, at least moderately excited, to see what they do with 16. So that's going to be fun to stream as well. This month, like I said, I'm going to finish Zelda. Hopefully I have some time to finish Elden Ring. I find I'm playing too many similar games, so I kind of need to do something completely different for a while, like Animal Crossing. So that may be coming up later this month if there's time. But yeah, that's basically what's going on over there. We're doing a lot of different fun things over on Twitch. Hope to see you guys over there. And Twitter, one little thing that happened last month is that the app that I was using to automatically tweet out every time I went live on Twitch or YouTube stopped working. So I need to try to find a new one. So if you do follow me on Twitter and you notice I haven't been posting up the new videos on Twitter, it's because I was using an application to automatically detect uploads and post them to Twitter. And the one I was using has now become a paid service, which, I mean, I don't mind using if I need to, but I need to look around and see what is still available out there and see if there's anything maybe even better than the one I was using. So, yeah. I don't know how many people depended on my Twitter account to know when I posted videos, but the last week or so, it hasn't been tweeting. So I'm still trying to figure out how to utilize Twitter. It helps during Mariners games a little bit. I feel like I should be using it a little more than I do, but it's just hard. I find Twitter to be kind of hard to really maintain. But yeah, fun stuff. Hope to see you guys as this month goes on. Again, there could be long dead periods on this channel because there won't be anything going on. If you want to see me pretty much every day, go follow my Twitch. The link is in the description. And you can pretty much catch me every day over there, and we can talk about sports stuff. That's pretty much all we do over there anyway. And see you guys later. Go Hawks.